Can I just say how I hope you've really enjoyed your tour of the school. I'm always so proud of our Year 6s doing that. It is genuinely one of my favourite mornings of the year because they are invariably just so positive and honest, I think, at times as well. I did see one group that took people straight off to the photocopier as one of the most exciting places in the school. I apologize if that was you who got that as your starting point of St Nick's. But it is, hopefully you saw the school as it really is. This is what we're like. Our children were in class doing things as they normally would be doing, and that's important for me. I'll introduce myself. I think I know most people, but I'm Keith Harvey. I'm Executive Head Teacher of here and St John the Evangelist School. Over there is Nicola Bailey. She's Head of School here at St Nick's. And I'll also introduce Rachel Winchester, who's one of our co-chairs of governors in our federation. So, and all of us are available to sort of talk at the end as well. Are you okay to just carry on there?
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, we'll go. That's just a picture of the front of the school. So some of the pictures that are just thrown into this are. I did this presentation for sort of online last year, and I've sort of added bits in, but I haven't necessarily taken the pictures out because obviously last year, unfortunately, parents weren't able to come and visit in the same way, which is a shame. So anyway, I want to share with you our vision for our school, our schools, St John's and St Nick's, and it's there up on the board behind you, for the good of all through creativity, curiosity, creativity, and love, and that is what we are about. It's what we want to sort of do for, we want to do things. We want to think about the needs of all of our children. We want to meet the needs of all of our children, every child. We want to challenge every child to do their best. We want to provide those opportunities for creativity, for curiosity. We want to engender that sort of respect and love and kindness within our children. That's really important to us, and I hope you'll have seen it as you go round, but we encourage all of our staff to speak respectfully to children, to each other, and that hopefully then brings that sense of respect among the children as well. I think that's really important. So just a few sort of highlights from our last Ofsted report, which is getting a little bit old now, three years old, but to be honest, I think a lot of this still applies now. I mean, this was our previous school vision, love your neighbour as you love yourself, but it is, it's moulded into our federation vision, and I think that still applies very much in what we're about at St Nick's. Enthusiasm about children's, how happy they are, I think that's really important. Writing and maths lessons, children, they still like them. Okay, they really do. I'll talk about those in a few minutes. And we do still maintain that focus on this spiritual, moral, social, cultural development, because I think that is really important. And particularly after the pandemic, it is so important to focus on this. So I was hoping I'd be able to read this, but it's back to front in the iPad that I'm recording on, so I can't actually read what it says up on the board. So yeah, just a few basics about us. So our year groups generally 64 in a year group. We don't have to stick to the class sizes in the way that they do for infant class sizes. So our governors have made a decision to have 32 children in a class, and that allows us, although it's quite a large number, it allows us to have a little bit of additional staffing within school, which is really positive, and I'll talk a bit about that eventually. So 2 classes in each year group, and all of the planning is done as a team, the 2 classes together. So we do have quite a lot of support staff within school, so every class has a teaching assistant that works within the classroom, plus we have some additional teaching assistants that are able to support children with special educational needs. We have an emotional literacy support assistant in school. We have, and as well as that, we have our maths subject leader is able to take groups each for year 5 and 6 children each day, so that means that we're able to have slightly smaller groups in year 5 and 6 for maths, meaning that obviously children get more individual attention. We also have a sports teacher, so that the government provides some sports funding, and we've decided to use part of that to fund a sports teacher within school who is absolutely fantastic, and next year we'll be taking every class for PE at each week, which is fantastic. She's absolutely great. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. So just a picture of children at work. You've seen that. So our school day So we start, this may change actually, because you'll be aware that the government is encouraging schools to have 6.5 hours per day. At the moment, St Nick's is 6 hours and 25 minutes, so we may move 5 minutes one way or another somewhere along the line, but our governors are going to make that decision. But so children are allowed onto the playground from 8:40 in the morning. That's important that it's not before that, please, if we can help that, because obviously we're not there to supervise before that point. 8:55, our day begins, register, guided reading. Always try to have a similar setup to the day to make sure children get settled within what they're doing. And then we have collective worship, which is an important part of our school day. It's about getting the children, particularly since we've had the pandemic, we haven't been able to get children together in one place, and that really does affect them. And having that opportunity to have everyone together is hugely beneficial. And we have sort of in the mornings, as most schools do, English and maths lessons, and then afternoon we'll have wider curriculum lessons. And I think it's important to say that we do also try to include class novel most days as well, because it's really important for children to have stories read to them and to hear quality literature. I think that's really important. And our school day ends at 3:20 in the afternoon. So our curriculum, we try to keep it as broad and interesting and relevant as possible. So it is subject based. So we don't. It's not a topic. We have we teach each half term. Most year groups will be teaching either history or geography. Those will alternate. We'll have science each week. We'll have DT or art each week. We have a short music lesson each week, and so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that children get the depth of learning that having individual subjects provides, and I think that's really important. But our key focus is on that reading, writing and maths. Those are the most important things. We want every child leaving this school to be competent, ready for secondary school, which seems a long way away, I know, for you as parents, but it's not as far as you think. It goes very quickly, the time here. We want every child to be ready to succeed at secondary school. But we also want to provide that broad experience. So we have lots of trips. Our year threes are going out to Butser Farm in a couple of tomorrow, which is a Stone Age. Is it Stone Age? It is Stone Age, isn't it? Village, reconstructed. Obviously, it's not. Still the Stone Age village. We do residential visits. All of our children. I think I'm trying to think where year four's been out anywhere this year.
No, they had people in.
They've had people in. But we've accessed the Newbury Spring Festival, for example. We take children swimming to Northcroft, which is great because we can walk there. We have in year 5 and year 6 we do residential trips as well. So year 5s go to Osmington Bay near Weymouth. That's a PGL centre for 4 nights. Year 6s go to YMCA Lakeside on the sort of southern shores of Lake Windermere and camp out. We've just done that last week. I'm sure the year 6s told you about that as they were giving their tour round. These are really valuable, rich experiences. And actually, St Nick's School has been going to Lakeside now for over 45 years. So it's this is something that, I know Mrs Bailey came to St Nick's and also went to Lakeside. So that's, this is something that I would say generations of people have experienced. We're very proud of our curriculum and what we offer here at St Nick's. And I will point out a library from the picture because that's a really special part of our school. We're really fortunate to have Mrs Tompkins employed as a librarian in school, which means that we're able to make our library something really special. And all of our children really benefit from that. And it promotes the love of reading within the school. And I think we find that children genuinely do have that love of reading. I will just point out our learning muscles as well. They're behind you on the wall, in fact. These are behaviours for learning. We find behaviour at St Nick's is generally very, very good. But what we want to focus on is children's behaviour for learning, making sure that they are ready to learn. So having those, things like being able to concentrate, being cooperative, having a go, being curious, keeping improving, all those things are really important to us for children to focus on. So I will just mention some of these bits and pieces. So behaviour, we have really high expectations for behaviour in school, and generally children follow those expectations and are really well behaved. And we have a hierarchical consequence system. We follow therapeutic approach for behaviour, and we provide nurture groups, emotional literacy support, and all sorts of things like that where children need a little bit of additional support. We want children to feel proud of being in the school that they're in and the federation that we're a part of. So things like uniform move towards that. At the moment, our uniform still contains the St Nick's logo. Over the course of the coming year, we will probably be starting to introduce uniform that has the new federation logo. That doesn't mean that we'll be expecting people to change to it. That will happen gradually over time, because we don't want people to have to change and spend money just because we're changing a logo. So that's important. We also have a school song here at St Nick's, and indeed we have a federation school song as well. So we're really, really pleased and proud of that. So children like being here. They get to earn team points. Every child is in a team, red, green, yellow or blue, and for behaviour, for good work, so on and so forth. They do team points. There's a trophy that's awarded each week, and then at the end of the term, the team with the most points gets a non-uniform day, so it's always something for children to work towards. And we want to encourage children to be independent. By the time they leave us in year 6, and again, I know this sounds like a long way away, but it really isn't, your children are going to secondary school, they will have to be independent. They will be, most of them will be walking to secondary school by themselves. They'll be having to find their way to lessons. So it is our job here at St Nick's to get your children from the point, where effectively they're protected as infant children to being independent secondary school children. So that's really important. So most of our year 6 children walk to school each day. It's pretty safe around the area, and they tend to walk with friends and things like that. But right from the start in year 3, we try and encourage parents to leave their children on the playground as soon as possible. Obviously, that first week, you will want to be there. You will want to be there when you drop them off. You will probably, not everyone. There's some children are completely independent right from the start, but you will want to drop them off. You will want them to know that they're stay with them until the bell goes and things like that. That's absolutely fine, and that's normal. But after that first week, we encourage parents to then take a step back and to sort of drop their children at the gate so that they can become independent themselves. And I think that's really important. That first week, the playground seems huge when they come in through that back gate. It seems like a very big empty space, but it doesn't take long for them to feel comfortable here, and I think that's important to say. We do a lot of work on arts and sports, so that's like a really big focus within our curriculum. So we take part in the Daily Mile, so every class has 15 minutes each day when they go out, and they ideally run 10 times around the playground, which is a mile. Not every child is able to do that, but we encourage every child to do that. It's really important, and we'd have lots and lots of sports opportunities. So it is our aim that every child in school represents the school at least in year 4 and year 6 at some point. So we take part in all sorts of different competitions: football, rugby, netball, cross-country athletics, 10-pin bowling, archery. There's all sorts of different things that we take part in. A lot organised by the West Berkshire School Sports Partnership, and we always, whenever we can, send a team to those things, and we encourage a variety, as many children as possible to take part. And I think I'm pretty certain that all of our year 6s this year have taken part in something to represent the school. We have lots of clubs and things as well, some run by outside agencies, some fewer nowadays, but some run by school staff. I think that's just gone down a little bit since the pandemic. But music and art and things like that are really important to us in school. We do, so each year for the last, apart from obviously last year because of the pandemic, I keep saying that, we go to Young Voices at the O2 Arena, where we have, where children get to sing in a choir of 8,000 children to parents. Amazing opportunity. It's fantastic. We did that. I know Mrs. Bailey was there last night watching her daughter do that. So, that's it's a really special experience, and we're really proud. We took 130 children this year to that. So, just a couple of photos of our Daily Mile and sports stuff, I think. Homework. I will just mention this. So. Homework is something that we I feel is important, because it's about having a partnership between home and school, but we don't put too much of an emphasis on homework. What we do is we sort of gradually build up over time. So, year 3, we want to really focus in on reading. We want children to really develop, make sure that they are reading regularly at home, because reading isn't just about being able to read words on the page. It's about developing that understanding, those comprehension skills, being able to predict what's going to come next, being able to infer from what they're reading, what's going on, what characters are feeling, and so on. So the more children read, the better learners they become. It's a fact. I mean, this is, children who do well at GCSEs are good readers at the age of 11. That's the way it is. So that is our major focus. So we also do spellings and tables work. If anyone's interested, we've got a tables information meeting tonight for parents. It is mainly focused at year 4, but actually we want children from year 1, 2, 3, 4 to be developing their table skills. So if you want to come along to that, that's at 6 o'clock tonight. And we also set some home learning projects for children to present. So it might be that if they're doing about Stone Age in year 3, they might put some homework to do a little presentation about that. As children move into year 5 and year 6, we start to build in some more formal English and maths homework as well at that point. So we want to make sure that we do our best to inform you about your child's progress. So we will have in September a Meet the Teacher session, so that you'll get to meet your child's teacher and ask any questions that you want, and they can sort of talk about classroom routines and everything. We have parents' evenings in autumn and spring term. So this year we had reports in spring term. We probably will be moving back to summer term again for reports next year, because we don't think it was as successful as we thought it might be. And also we know that that's an awful long period of time when parents haven't been able to speak to their class teacher. So that's our thinking there. But also, and hopefully you've all had an opportunity to do it either at St John's in the last few days, but we're doing the same at St Nick's, opportunities for parents to come in and see their children's work, which I'm so pleased we've been able to do again after a couple of years of not being able to do that. And we do have an open door policy. If you want to come and talk to me, to Mrs Bailey, to a member of staff, just feel free to, with the staff are on the playground at the end of the day. I'll come to the office and make an appointment or so on, but ideally not first thing in the morning, because people are setting up at that point, and that's obviously quite a difficult time to do that. So our playground you'll have seen, loads of space there, really good. With the Friends of St Nick's that I'll talk about in a minute, they funded the green surface that's there a couple of years ago, so it's really high quality, really brand new. The previous one had been there over 30 years, I think, so really lovely to have that there. Playtime, I don't know why I put playtimes there. Every school has playtimes. I'm not quite sure why I put that. But Friends of St Nick's is really important. We've got our they funded a lot of things. So the climbing frame out on the playground, they funded this. They're going to be funding some upgrades to that as well, because you probably saw there's a couple of bits that are broken on it. The musical instruments, the table tennis table that's out there. They've funded all of that. They're a great organisation. Really good. There we go. We also have breakfast and after school clubs at St Nick's. So breakfast club, we don't cap numbers at the moment, so it is so all of our clubs are bookable via parent pay, and that's possible to do that. Obviously you'll get a login for that and everything. After school club, you will need to apply for a place. You possibly already have applied for a place if you're going to St Nick's, but if you haven't yet and want a place, that's fine. Our numbers are capped at 35 for after school club. And we have, I don't think it's the case at the moment, but in previous years we have been very full with that and with waiting lists. So just be aware, if you want a place, it's worth, you will need to book that. I won't go into massive detail about uniform, but there is, expectations on correct school uniform. Children can wear black shoes or trainers because obviously they're going to be doing the daily mile, so trainers are probably a better thing to be wearing generally. But we want children to look neat and tidy, long hair, tied back and so on. And we do swimming every year, so year 3 will be doing it probably in spring term next year. 10 sessions of swimming. They're doing it this term this year, and it's going well, isn't it? I think so. lunch. I'm not actually sure. I put the price up, but I'm not actually convinced that is the price of the school meals. But so our school meal provider is Culinera. It may be a bit more expensive than that. That was probably a year ago, so it could have gone up since that point.
I think it's £2.45.
Yeah, I thought it might well have done. Yeah. If you obviously because children are, when you move into year 3, are no longer eligible for the universal free school meals that they currently get. So obviously any parent that is eligible for free school meals will the child can get school meal for free, continue to do so. But otherwise they are chargeable. But children can, of course, bring in a packed lunch. But we do ask that if you're going to send your child in with a packed lunch, that you try to make it balanced as possible, please, and definitely no chocolate, sweets, fizzy drinks, nuts. We are a nut-free school. And we do have drinking water available in school, but children do need to bring in a water bottle. Okay, what else have we got? Yeah, I've just put I will send this link out to people, but this presentation out. So if you feel you may be entitled to free school meals, you can have a look on the West Berkshire website, and they provide information about that. And where we do have children with free school meals, we encourage parents, if you're eligible, to apply for it, even if they're not going to have a meal, because it does bring in extra money for the school from pupil premium, which is around about £1,400 a year per child. So that does give some more money into the school for school funds. I've already mentioned Friends of St Nick's, so I won't go into that in any more detail. But I will talk about transition into St Nick's. So this is important. We want every child to feel comfortable and happy coming into St Nick's. I know our plan is to mix the current Year 2 classes at St John's next year. That will not stop us from having a really successful transition. We are aiming to make it as positive as possible for every child and for children to come into St Nick's feeling confident. So we have a buddy system that's been going for a number of years. We will pair your child up with a child who's currently in Year 5 so that they will have someone that they know that's looking after them when they start at school, and that's been really successful for many years. Really positive. We will also do a number of transition activities. I think you've had a letter about it before children join. So we have a carousel morning where children come in and do a variety of different sort of sporting activities and things. We have our changeover day on the 4th of July. We have Year 3 teachers going down to St John's to spend some time with children. All sorts of a variety of different things happen that really enable children to feel comfortable when they join our school. I've put COVID here. I think that was left from last year because I don't think hopefully there's no COVID stuff this year at all that we need to worry about. I'm hoping. So this is a good time if you are able to go and get the Year 3 teachers to introduce them. So our teachers for Year 3 next year. So Mrs. Arlo, you may have met as you were going around this morning. She's one of our Year 3 teachers, and she is the current teacher of 3S, along with Miss Ewens, who does it on a Friday. In 3N, our other Year 3 class, Mrs. Gibbons works on a Monday, Tuesday, part of Wednesday, and Mrs. Crowther works on a Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So again, they are a team there. Miss Shepherd is also going to be teaching in Year 3 next year. She is a school direct student that will be taking place. She's not here today. I don't think Mrs. Gibbons is here today either, but I'll introduce Mrs. Arlo and Mrs. Crowther to you. I don't know if you just want to say just a couple of words to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, sure. I'm Mrs. Crowther, so I will be in the classroom at the front. I presume staying in the same classroom.
Yep.
With Mrs. Gibbons, so we've got she'll teach it Monday, Tuesday. I teach Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, lovely time here. We've been in Year 3. This is our second year, so third year next year. We've both been at the school for a while, and you might have seen some playgrounds as well. We've got children who've gone through the school as well, so we know the place very well.
I'm Mrs. Arlo, so I work Monday to Thursday, and then Miss Ewens will be on Friday, so you may know Miss Ewens, she's worked here for many years. I've been in Year 3 for a fair number of years now as well, so that's really nice, where I love to be. Can't wait to meet all the children when they come up, and yeah, nice to see you all.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I'll just mention our support staff as well in Year 3. So we've got 2 Mrs Hills who are going to be support staff next year, so 1 in each class, just to confuse matters. And also there will be other year group support. So Mrs Point is one person. Miss Ewan's, when she's not teaching, will be around to support as well in year 3. So obviously, if anyone's got any questions, sort of the whole group questions, feel free to ask. If anyone's got any questions for Rachel as Chair of Governors, do feel free to sort of catch her after, or to catch myself or Nicola at the end. Does anyone have anything that's sort of relevant to the whole group, rather than individual questions?
When are we going to know which classes the children are in?
Yeah, so the plan is for people to, so we're still in the process of sorting that out, but hopefully we will have had some sort of final discussions with current class teachers and things like that before the end of the current half term, so it will hopefully be within around about the first week back after half term that we'll be letting people know and which class teacher they'll be with. Any other questions that are sort of whole group questions? In that case, thank you very much, and I'll allow you to head off or come and ask some questions if you want. Thank you.